Good day, grade 9s. This is homework marking of activity 7.3 and 7.4. So I'm going to refer to these questions here. G. Jersey had a credit limit of 500 Rand and he needs to pay his account within 30 days. He bought goods on the 4th of April for 382 Rand 80. Okay, he bought goods on credit, obviously, and then on the 2nd of May he paid his account. So we can see that from 4 April to 2 May, that is within the 30-day limit. On 10th of May, he bought goods to the value of 474 Rand and 15 cents. Was his account managed well? Give a reason for your answer. So if we look here, we can see that G. Jersey, we record credit sales in my DJ. We can see there we made a credit sale to G. Jersey. And again in May, G. Jersey purchased again. But if we look here in my CRJ, we can see that G. Jersey paid me on the 2nd of May. G. Jersey, we received money from him, 382 Rand and 80 cents. So therefore, grade 9s, we can say that G. Jersey account is managed well. He kept within his credit limit of 500 Rand and he paid his account within 30 days. So that's all you need to say over there. Then number 2 said, analyze the account of Almanay in the same way and indicate whether the account is managed well or not, giving a reason for your answer. So now we can do the same thing. Go and look at Almanay here in April. Remember, he had a credit limit of, if we turn to the previous page, Almanay had a credit limit of 1,500 Rand. So in April, he bought for 1,300, so he remained within his credit limit. And then in May, he bought for 1,493. So let's just see what we received from Almanay in May. Almanay on the 24th day, which is within a month, we received 1,371 Rand and 70 cents. So in other words, Almanay had now paid that amount, 1,371. So he paid that within 30 days. All right. So we can say that the account of Almanay is managed well. He paid within 30 days and the account is within the credit limit of 1,500 Rand. Then we move to Eshumwe, same concept as number 1 and 2 applies. Eshumwe is not managed well. In April, he kept within the credit limit, but did not settle his account within 30 days. Yet, Trendy Stores still allowed him to make another purchase on credit. So if we look here at Eshumwe's credit limit, Eshumwe's credit limit is 1,750. So here Eshumwe bought 1,595 and then again 1,754, which is over his credit limit, and then we only received that amount from him in May. So his account is not managed well because he did not keep within his credit limit, and we allowed him to make more purchases without him settling his account. Then number 4 asked you to take the transactions for April and May into account and calculate the amount owed by debtors. So now we want to know, what do my debtors still owe me at the end of May? So here we're going to have to look at my DJ, because that is where we record credit sales. So we can see here in my debtors journal, these are all my debtors, and this is how much I allowed them credit. Okay, so this was my credit sales for April, 3,349, and this was my credit sales for May, 3,722. So we can see over here in the calculation, if you want to write it down, well, you should, credit sales for April, there's that total, and credit sales for May. So in other words, the total that my debtors owed me was 7,071. But I also have to take into account what I have received in the month of May. And that you will find in your CRJ on page 50. So we can see over there that in my CRJ, I received 3,349 Rand and 50 cents from my debtors. That is how much they have already paid me. So I'm going to have to subtract the two numbers from each other. So that's how much they owed me. And then this is how much I received, 3,349 Rand. So the difference between those two numbers, this is the amount that my debtors still owe me on the 31st of May. Right. Moving on to activity 7.4. Should have completed this as well. I did the first one with you. This is activity 7.4 on page 75 in your textbooks. So on the 15th, we sold goods on credit to W. Dube for 944 Rand. Remember, W. Dube is D1. 944 Rand, then we have to work out my cost of sales using my CP formula. Alright, sorry, I made an error here with W. Tsokane. I will repeat these amounts now. They are a little bit unclear. Okay, issued an invoice for goods sold on credit to W. Tsokane for 720 Rand. Issued an invoice. Remember, if we're issuing an invoice, that means that we made a credit sale. And credit sales are always recorded in my debtors journal. Alright, so W. Tsokane, he is D3. The sale amount was for 720 Rand. And then my cost of sales is 450. That brings my total sales to 3,104. Or my total credit sales to 3,104. And my cost of sales is 1940. Please make sure that you mark your work and that you make the necessary corrections.